Hey everyone, welcome back to my weekly tipping video. As always, this preview is brought to you by PlayUp. If you are thinking of having a punt on the NRL this round, make sure it's through PlayUp, guys. But as always, please gamble responsibly. G'day ladies and gentlemen, Clarkey here. Welcome to my round 5 NRL preview and tips. As you guys know from other videos, this is a little bit of an informal discussion. I go over each game and why I'm leaning towards a certain tip and some other things I might be looking out for and just sort of preview the game a little bit. So let's get it started, guys, with Thursday night. We've got the South Sydney Rabbitohs coming up against the Brisbane Broncos. In this one, guys, with what the Bunnies showed me last week defeating the Bulldogs 38-0, what they've shown is that regardless of what competition they have in front of them, they're going to play Bunnies football. And when they play Bunnies football, they look dominant and they win 38-0. Now, I do know that Cody Walker is out suspended, and that's obviously a big loss, but having someone like Benji Marshall is just an awesome addition to come into that 6 jersey. He's looked really, really good in the 14 jersey coming off the bench for the Rabbitohs this year. And I just don't think Cody Walker him being out would be enough for me to tip the Broncos here. I just can't tip the Broncos, guys. I'm going to go with the Bunnies here. I think they're going to win 13 plus. I think they're going to win quite easily. I don't see this being a close one. So yeah, I got the Bunnies in that one. Friday night, we've got the New Zealand Warriors coming up against the Manly Sea Eagles. Now, Manly have already burnt me once this season. I hope they don't burn me again, but I am going to go ahead and tip them to win here. I know that's crazy. I know they haven't shown too much, but I just think that Cherry Evans and Kieran Foran in the halves there are too classy to keep losing games. And the Warriors, if there was ever a time to beat them, it would be this round. They've got Adam Fanua-Blake out. He has an injury. They've got Bailey Sirenen out. Bunty Afola's been suspended, and Jermaine Tanoa-Brown also is suspended. So their forward pack is a little bit underwhelming. Tohu Harris moves to prop. They do have, a veteran on the bench in Kane Evans and some young guns in Tom Ale and Josh Curran. But all in all, I just don't see that being enough, guys. I am going to have to tip the Seagulls here. I know that's crazy. But every now and then, guys, you've got to throw out a wild card like that. There's not too many solid reasons I can give you because, to be honest with you guys, Manly have looked crap this year. But regardless, I am going to go ahead and tip them there for an upset. And I do emphasize the word upset. But yeah, I've got Manly in that one, guys. Later that night, we've got the Penrith Panthers at home taking on the Canberra Raiders. Now, this will probably be match of the round. This is the game I'm probably most keen for this round. I think it'll be an absolute belter. Both teams in really, really good form. But the Panthers, they sit in first place. I know they still have some key outs, but they've shown against the Melbourne Storm that they still play to a very, very high standard, even with key members of their spine missing. Which is just, imagine this team when it's full strength again. It's absolutely crazy. I do think the Raiders are capable of an upset. Don't get me wrong, this will be a close game. But what my head and my heart tells me is after the Panthers' dominant display against the Melbourne Storm to come back and them thrashing Manly last week, 46-6, I just think they'll get the job done here over the Raiders, particularly in front of their home fans. So I'm going to go ahead and tip the Panthers there, guys. Saturday, 3 p.m. on the Gold Coast, the Titans come up against the Newcastle Knights. I am going to go ahead and tip the Titans here, guys. That is me tipping with my head and my heart. I will preface that with I am a Titans fan, so keep that in mind. I tipped this last week against the Raiders, but that was probably just me tipping with my heart, as I said in that video. In this one, guys, I'm tipping with my head and my heart. There are some key outs for the Knights, and I do think if there was a time for the Titans to get the win, it will be with Mitchell Pearce and Kurt Mann, both their regular halves out, and they've also lost a little bit of depth with Jacob Saifidi off the bench. They do get Kalen Ponga back, but all in all, I don't think that will be enough. I don't think the Titans' scoreline last week, I believe it was 4-20 against the Raiders, I don't think that reflected how close that contest was, and the Titans seem to lack a little bit of polish at times. But with Jamal Fogarty back, and if he is able to see out the full 80 minutes and not go off injured, like unfortunately he was forced to against the Raiders, I think he'll really help put the polish on the end of those sets with the cleaner kicks and the better execution closer to the Knights' try line. And all in all, if that does occur, I see the Titans winning there. After that, guys, oh my god. At Stadium Australia, we have the Canterbury Bulldogs versus the Melbourne Storm. Now, I'm going to tip the Storm. This is going to be an ugly contest for Bulldogs fans. I'm not going to lie, if I was a Bulldogs fan, I probably wouldn't even turn the TV on for this one, guys. Don't put yourself through it. I don't see them scoring a point. I think they go another 80 minutes without a point. What the Melbourne Storm have shown us is, in the 2019 final series, they lost to the Raiders and they lost to them in the regular season. Now, in those games, the reason I believe they lost, they got forced into playing the Raiders style of football. And when they played the Raiders style of football, they lost. Since then, I think the Melbourne Storm have learned, and now they always play Storm football. They learn from their mistakes. They play their brand of footy now, and they never deviate from that. And if the Storm don't deviate from that, I mean, what was last week they beat the Broncos 40-6. There was one try the Broncos had there where they had a runaway off a Melbourne Storm backline play that fell apart. It's not going to be good for the Bulldogs here. It's going to be the Melbourne Storm. I'm probably going to tip them to get the job done 30+. I know that seems a little bit disrespectful, but the Doggies just haven't shown me much this year, whereas the Storm, we know how dominant they can be. After that, guys, we've got the Cranial Sharks taking on the Sydney Roosters. Now, hear me out here, guys. I'm going to tip the Roosters. The Sharks are capable of an upset, and they are coming off a ton of form. That's right. They absolutely smashed the Sharkies last week, 48-10. However, in round 3, the Titans beat the Cowboys 44-8. Stay with me. Both teams have come off wins over the Cowboys, and very large wins. The next round, the Titans went on to face the Raiders, which I value as a top 4 team, and they got, I wouldn't say they got dominated, but they were defeated quite easily. Now, you look at who the Sharks have this week. What's the common theme here? They've just smashed the Cowboys. Now they're versing the Roosters, who I value as another top 4 team. So I don't think beating the Cowboys is a good indication to judge your current form off, is what I'm getting at there. And therefore, I've got the Sydney Roosters. Let's not look at who the Roosters don't have, guys, for 1 second. Let's look at who they do have. Tedesco, Tupou, the Morris brothers, Joey Manu, Drew Hutchinson, and Sam Walker, who's shown us how classy he was last week. That is still a fantastic backline, and that will be more than enough to get the Roosters home. Sunday afternoon, we've got the West Tigers taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, I'm not going to lie here, guys. There's probably only 2 teams I would consider tipping the Cowboys against at this stage of the NRL season, and that's probably the Bulldogs and Manly. Outside of that, I cannot tip the Cowboys. They have shown me nothing to suggest they will change. They have shown me nothing to suggest I should tip them, and they've shown me nothing to suggest that they can defeat the West Tigers. What I liked out of the West Tigers last round was when they did score, the whole team got around it. They all grew in confidence, and their team went to another level. Now, they didn't score as many points as they would have liked against the Eels, but against the Cowboys, I mean, last week they leaked 48. The week before that, they leaked 44. The week before that, they leaked 25. And the week before that, they leaked 24. In the opening 5 rounds, they've leaked at least 13 plus points every game. That's, the Tigers are going to score a lot of points here, guys, and they will get confidence from that, like we saw against the Eels last round. So if that happens, I can't see anything but the Tigers winning. I think they win 13 plus, especially at Leichhardt. I see a dominant performance from the West Tigers this round. Finish off the round, guys. We've got the Parramatta Eels coming up against the St. George Illawarra Dragons at Bank West. Now, I am going to tip the Eels here, guys, but I will say if there was one team that could cause an upset this round, it would be the Dragons. They are significantly higher in odds, and I think they are definitely capable of shocking the Eels here. The Dragons are one of those teams that have just started to creep up a little bit, and they're riding a wave of momentum. They're 3-1 this year, and I do think they could beat the Eels. All in all, though, I think the Eels are in a little bit better form, and I think the Eels at home do have an advantage. I think when you compare rosters, the Eels have an advantage. So the advantages are on the Eels' side, and therefore I am going to go ahead and tip them. But Dragons could come through with the Chockies. That's going to wrap up my tipping and preview video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. As always, let me know any changes you'd make in the comments, anything you're tipping different. I look forward to hearing that, and I'll see you guys next week for my round 6 preview and tips. Cheers, guys.